What is plastic? Plastic is man-made material not found in nature. Most plastics are made from petroleum, oil, natural gas, or coal. It's used in almost everyday product because of how reliable it is. Plastic can last forever, and if we don't properly dispose of it or reuse it, it can be very harmful to our environment, ecosystems, or planet as a whole, and our personal health. So what are the effects plastic can have on our planet, our ecosystems, our environment, or our personal health? First of all, plastic can be found all over the world in every city, country, rivers, lakes, and ocean. And remember the fact that plastic isn't naturally found in nature? That means it has to have an effect on the environment because it won't dissolve or disappear back into nature. Because of this fact, there's now a giant mess around the world that people have to clean up, including this insane patch of garbage in the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and California, and it's 3 times the size of France. With plastic polluting our planet, sometimes animals mistake plastic as food, and sometimes they get stuck in plastic and they die because of it. Animals are dying of unnatural causes, and it affects the circle of life. Plastic trash is found in guts of 90% of seabirds, in more than half the stomach of sea turtles, and even choking the life out of whales, and those are just the chunks of plastic. Have you ever heard of microplastic? Microplastics are particles of plastic. It's plastic that actually managed to break down to the point where we can't see it anymore. However, like we mentioned before, that plastic doesn't go back into nature and it lasts forever. Plastic can go through many different organisms and animals and can make them and us very sick if we eat those animals. Sea life, unfortunately, eats that microplastic, and sometimes we eat that sea life, so we end up eating that microplastic too. Some plastics can even absorb bacteria along with other bad things that we can absorb and get sick from. Some plastics can even mess with our hormones. Hormones is what help us grow, sleep, and deal with our emotions, which means it can affect us physically and mentally. Yes, the reality is harsh and sad, but we can make the world a better place. There are already crews cleaning up the world, and it's a big job, so it'll take years, and some garbage might never get completely cleaned. To do our part, we have to make sure that we don't add more to the mess. Some people are so good they live completely plastic free, but that can be very hard in a world where almost everything is made of plastic, so the easiest way to help is by recycling properly in general. Cans made of metals, anything made of glass, and cardboard and paper can be recycled forever, but only if they're clean. Cans and glass can be cleaned quite easily, however, oil stains from your pizza box that cannot be cleaned. On the bright side, you can compost that. Plastic is a little trickier to recycle, so here are the numbers so that you know which plastics you can recycle and which ones to avoid completely. Try to avoid plastic recyclables with the number 1 because it's hard to clean, and if it can't be cleaned, it can't be recycled. It also absorbs bacteria, which can make you very sick. Recyclables with the number 2 is safe for you, and as long as it's cleaned, it can be recycled. Recyclables with the number 3 are known to have chemicals that mess with your hormones, so avoid using them at all costs. Recyclables with both the number 4 and 5 are safe to use, however, just make sure it's cleaned before you recycle it so that it actually gets recycled. And finally, recyclables with the number 6 and 7 avoid at all costs. 6 is known to have carcinogens which can produce cancer in your body, and 7 is linked to heart disease and obesity. So when it comes to recycling plastic, remember that 2, 4, and 5 are usually almost always very safe to use. Avoid all the other ones.